protesters clashed with police in Sydney and Melbourne, many without masks. Demonstrators took their anger to the streets just an hour after the Premier revealed a record 825 new COVID cases across the state. Police in force with the threat loud and clear.
Let's go! Everyone, move it!
Break the lockdown, face the lock-up.
Why are you arresting me?
There were a string of arrests.
Police are scum.
A protester fighting back. An officer hit on the head.
This way.
That police officer needed the help of paramedics, then hospital treatment. Protest became anxiety and panic for one woman as police forced the growing crowd down Broadway. The demonstrators, many without masks, were a mix of anti-lockdowners and virus deniers.
Coronavirus, don't believe it.
The protest infection had taken hold in Melbourne too. A crowd pushing into the 1,000 in the line, backed by a mounted unit. Then, with one mind, the crowd surged and the floodgates burst. Melbourne is enduring another round of enforced and comprehensive lockdown. They've already spent more than 200 days in tight restrictions, and the mood today got uglier by the minute. Again, there was barely a mask in sight. Back in control, police made a string of arrests and corralled the protesters, even as some claimed they'd been abused.
This is a crime against humanity when police officers can spray us illegally with pepper spray for just walking about free in this city.
Some of the anger directed at the media as well.
Are you mainstream media? No, I do not. Go away. You're the problem. Off.
In Sydney, there was no appetite by police for a repeat of last month's big protest. Blue uniforms flooded possible trouble spots on approaches to the CBD and no early sign of protesters. There were roadblocks, units monitoring public transport and a reserve force waiting in the wings. These are all the cars outside the SCG ready to deploy. There are hundreds right now.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing tonight? How's everyone doing? I just wanted to start tonight. That was a news report from a news outlet in Australia. They are the mainstream media. I want to point that out. You probably noticed that they had the same skew that the mainstream media here in our country does also. But I wanted to show it because I wanted you guys to see that the Australian people are fighting for their rights and liberties. Okay, the same way we talk about doing, the same way we try to do. Our brothers and sisters over there in Australia are doing the same thing. And I want to say something. The title of this show is called Patriots of Australia, and I want to say something about patriotism. You know, of course, I'm a patriot. You guys are patriots. Patriotism is usually related to your own country of origin. But I wanted to say that for me, patriotism comes from a place of just humanity. We're all the same race, you know, and the individual liberties of folks all around the world is, for me, that's patriotism. Wanting everyone to have the same rights and freedoms and privileges as we do as human beings all over the world. That's patriotism also. And so I wanted to bring up Homestead Aus. I've been acquainted with Lynn and Wayne for a better part of a year now since I've been a part of this community. And I can't remember exactly where we met, but I do remember we would have good conversations in North Shore Preparedness late night lives when we were all kind of just small channels, just trying to get out there and get our voices out there. And they are good folks, man. Lynn and Wayne and over at Homestead Aus are great folks. They're patriots. They're our compatriots. They're our brothers and sisters. And so I don't really get a lot of news from what's going on in Australia. I watch Sky News Australia, and it's a good news outlet, but you can tell there's just a lot missing of what's going down on the ground. And I want to talk to someone who's actually fighting this fight that we are. So, without me ranting and raving anymore, I'm just going to go ahead and bring on Lynn from Homestead Aus. She needs no introduction. She's a true patriot. Lynn, good to see you.
Good to see you, Native. Hi, everyone. I've been reading the chat, and you were so right, Native, that we don't consider ourselves patriots for Australia. We are patriots around the world. We are freedom fighters around the world, and that's why we love you guys. And that's why when you invited me on, I said yes. Wayne's actually got all his top teeth out at the moment, and all his S's don't sound like S's. They sound something else, and he's busy doing some other things. But, hey, guys, why I wanted to take this opportunity of our dear friend Native getting us on here is because we need to warn you. We need to warn you now what's happening here. So,
right.
Native, great to be here.
Thank you so much for coming on. And you're so right. It's almost like what's going on with you guys over in Australia is our future if we don't start fighting back right now.
Yep.
And just real quick, I want to say hey to In Your Yard Homestead. I know you're familiar with this gentleman. It's good to see you, brother. I appreciate you coming in. Another good channel, guys. Another good Australian right there. Another patriot. I should definitely check out this brother's channel. He's the real deal. He's a homesteader. He's part of our community. He's one of us.
Yeah.
But also, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said absolutely. I was just on the phone to Josh this morning, actually. So he's a good mate of ours.
Absolutely. I was watching his channel today. He had a good video out, and he shared some scripture. And he's talking about how not only is this a physical battle, but it's also spiritual. And I'm right there with him. I believe that 100%. So absolutely. But also, we also have another special guest who's going to come on and talk about this stuff with us. He also needs no introduction. The illustrious Prepper Tribe is here with us tonight also.
Hello.
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
So before I came on here, I was talking to Tribe and Native, and look, I'll say it again. Wayne and I have loved you guys so much from the beginning because why? We have the same spirit, and we're all doing the same thing. The thing is, though, that some of us will lose the fight, and I don't believe Prepper Tribe and Native are going to lose the fight at all. Okay, so that's neither Wayne and I. So any of you in the chat that are getting weary, just keep going, because right now Wayne and I are right in the war zone. We are right in the epicenter of it, and that's
no
it.
No doubt. You guys saw that little news clip. What was going on, and Lynn, we're going to get into it. Yes, I'm going to ask you about the protest and why people in Australia are doing that. And just what is the general feeling like of the average Australian right now? What's going on?
All right, so I'll tell you the general feeling of the average Australian, and that is we have sheep in paddocks here and they go baa. Okay, that's the average Australian. Now I'll give you some statistics. Throughout history, there's only been 1% of the population that will actually rise up and want to do something to reform a nation, to restrain a nation from tyranny. Okay, and then another 10% usually follow through with that. So we don't have in your country or our country a lot of people that will be standing up for that. Having said that, are they going to take our freedoms away? No, not Wayne and I. Okay, majority of the people Wayne and I know just would think if they saw me on here, they would think I was the most craziest woman on earth. I don't consider myself crazy. I think that Tribe, Native, and myself and Wayne right now are standing for freedom for our families, freedom for our grandchildren, freedom for their future. Tyranny, this is what it is. We are living in it now. And from last September last year, we started to get censored. I knew, Wayne and I had many discussions, right, by next September next year, we probably can't go to a supermarket. ever again in our life because of the way we think. Okay. Wayne and I will not be going to doctors, hospitals, or dentists. If people can listen to me right now in the USA, please, because never again in my life, I'm 54 years old now, Wayne's 60 this year, we will never be going to dentists, hospitals, or we just won't be doing that. Why? Because we will not conform to a system. We've prepared ourselves. Oh, but Lynn, how can you say that? You might get your leg chopped off with a chainsaw on the farm or something. I'm not going to bow down, guys. You might think I'm just talking. No, Wayne and I are getting all our teeth out now. Why? Because by the end of September, we won't have to go to a dentist again. We've been preparing for this, right? We've got to get fitter, right? So, yeah, when I'm talking about, we'll get off Wayne and I'll get on to the Australian people, okay? There are some beautiful people out there who are losing businesses, millions of them right now, okay? They're under a lot of stress. Suicide rate. I'll give you a bit of an idea about that. Lifeline is the suicide call line here in Australia. And last week, they had as many calls in that 1 week for suicide, for people calling out wanting help, as what they have in a whole year. Okay, wow. People are mentally losing it, totally losing it. So, yeah, this is where we're at right now. So we are going to see, you guys are going to see massive mental breakdowns of the public around you. How are you going to cope with that? We're coping with that right now, okay? As you know, we can't film from our farm because that's too risky. Think about your own privacy, your security. How are you setting yourselves up? If you think you haven't got yourself set up security-wise now, got that peripheral vision, situational awareness, hone in on that now. You'll need it. We need it right now.
Yeah. Wow. Man, I mean, I like I said, I've been trying to keep up what's going on in Australia, because I feel like you guys have always been one of our Star Wars allies and the people who are most like us, you know. And if you look at the history of how Australia became a nation, but you guys have always been there. Like whatever conflict we've been in, you know, Australia's there. You guys are there with us, and what you guys are going through. I know we talked about it backstage a little bit. And in the 90s, when you guys had that shooting or whatever, and the government used that as an excuse to take away, you know, for the most part, the private ownership of most firearms in Australia. Do you feel like that was one of the things that led to them to be able to suppress the nation as much as they have so far? Because you guys are fighting back. Like, it's not, y'all aren't just laying down. You know, the videos I watched today, I've been watching videos of the protests all day, and the Australian people are not laying down for the government.
No, we're not lying down. We just need probably now, since that protest yesterday, more will rise up, but a lot have just been too busy being asleep. But it's going to have to be right to the 1 minute to midnight before some people just go, wow, that's it, you know. But yeah, Native, you're right. There's a lot have risen up. There's a lot have been silent over the years since the 90s when Port Arthur happened, and that's when they took our guns off us, okay? Now, I did mention to you two guys backstage, the government has a major concern about illegal guns here in Australia. So you take that where you want to take it, because that's sometimes more scary than having a whole country that they know where the guns are, you know.
Right.
And so that's a big issue right now. The government really doesn't know, and pull me up, Native, if you think I might say something wrong. I know you will, but the government does not know where the people stand. That's why the smoking out's happening now. They want to see how many turn up to protests so they can analyse, right? They want to know what farmers think, like Wayne and I, and where we stand. And that's why we're getting hammered so hard, pulled up in the street, done whatever. You know, a friend down the road, like I said, got bashed up by police just 2 weeks ago. It might have been under 2 weeks ago, handcuffed. They wanted to kill him. They were trying to make blood clots in his system. We know how they do that, you know. Why? Because this gentleman, he's probably watching right now. I hope you are. He wants his freedom. He's been brought up in a different country. So, yeah, the guns were the beginning. The guns were the beginning. And of course, then your 9/11 actually infiltrated down onto us. So as your 9/11 happened, our government stepped up the all the patriotism laws and
Right.
it goes from there.
Yes, absolutely. Just to the folks in the chat, man, I've seen some other names going through. If there are other Australian people, in the chat, welcome, thank you. We stand with you. We know you guys are facing a hard road ahead, and like I said, man, we're with you. And anything that we can do, because we were talking about this backstage, because what you guys are going through right now is going to be our future, I believe, if we don't stop it right now in our country. And also in our country, we need to step up and help other peoples. Like I said, patriotism needs to be more than an American thing. It needs to be a worldwide thing for the entire human race. We are all brothers and sisters on this planet, and we need to stand up for individual rights and liberty. We need to stop being partisan. We need to stop letting our world governments, we need to stop letting them divide us. And we need to be like Spike always says, and unite. We need unity, and we need to reach out and help one another.
Absolutely, Native.
I just think it's really, really important, and I can't remember everything, but I think it's really, really important to explain to people watching and the people in the chat just what's going on and how people are not supposed to be leaving their houses. They got to get permission slips to go to work. They're writing down people's tags if they leave their house to go to their kids' houses. They're writing down tags. You're only allowed to go for exercise for an hour. These are the things that Australians are dealing with. Like, these are the mandates. Like, they're completely being stripped of all natural freedoms. It's ridiculous.
So Tribe's right there. And look, we have had this on and off since September last year. They just keep increasing more restrictions. So one of the major concerns we have here right now is the trucking industry has to, they go from border to border because one state might grow food, like your state grows California grows a lot of your food. That needs to be trucked out of California to get to you guys so your wives or you can cook a nice meal. Okay. Right. That's going to stop fairly shortly because the truckers have had enough. They either have to have 3 tests or they have to have 2 Vs, to get across the border. No, they don't want that. A lot of them guys are fighting for their freedoms too. So we're going to see real food shortages here once again, right, between the farmers and their droughts and all the rest, and as well as this is going to come in fairly heavily in the next month. So a lot of people are now preparing for that because their eyes have been opened. Oh no, if we don't get those trucks in, that's how we get our food. It's not just comes flying through the air to our supermarket,
Right.
So, so 5K radius, Wayne and I, anyone here in Victoria cannot go past 5K. So I can't say too much on here. As I said before, but I think Prepper Tribe and Native know where I am and all the rest of it. And police patrols, police checkpoints, guys. It's tyranny. Police checkpoints in our home little country towns.
Imagine that.
And you're saying like
being able
a 5K radius. I just want to say this. It was like 3.5 miles, Tribe. Like think about that. Like for me, if I want to go to the grocery store, the closest grocery store to me is 10 miles away. Like in any direction. I'm not kidding. Yeah. So I can't even imagine not being able to go 3.5 miles from my freaking house.
And imagine not being a prepper. What if they wouldn't have prepared? They wouldn't be eating right now. And what do you think the people's going to do? The government knows that the people are going to do whatever they have to do to eat. So they're setting them up for failure.
Yep. Exactly.
Absolutely, Tribe. That's the agenda. Exactly right. Absolutely. You hit it on the head. And so what we're looking at is we've got one rule like your government has for themselves, for our government, and one rule for us. So they can go to parties and not wear masks. An engagement party was held in Melbourne last year. 69 people were there. They all got charged $5,000. I heard the report was on the news that they were charged $5,000. Okay, potential jail. Just for an engagement party, okay? That's it. So, we're talking about, Nazi Germany. Well, I really can't see, and I haven't been able to see any difference between how Wayne and I live and Victorians and Queenslanders and New South Wales, Josh in Western Australia watching right now, I cannot see any difference. And I've studied it for many years and I cannot see any difference.
I don't, and I just I wanted to ask you. I want to go back to the 5K radius thing, because I was thinking about this when you said it earlier. Like I said, if that happened here, if they said we can't leave our home within a 5K radius, we would be living off preps here, and
Yes.
from then, or unless I was willing to break the law and be an outlaw and go away and go past that to go to the grocery store or to get feed from our animals, or if something broke and I needed a part, and just to go to work. Actually, if I had to go to work, I have a 40-hour-a-week job that I have to go to, that I have to drive 12 miles to every 5 days a week. So that's interesting to me, and I wanted to ask you this because I'm not sure. And I was telling Tribe this, and I mentioned to you about the police force there in Australia. Is there a national police force, or is the 5K radius thing, is that enforced by the local police? How does it work in Australia?
Yeah, so we have our federal police. I think you have your feds too, don't you? Right, and then you have your state police.
Right.
So we have our state police. They are corporations. They have a business number. They are not actually really controlled. A lot of people believe, and I'll say it again, as a freelance journalist, that I think I am, because I do not incite this government. I just report on the facts.
There you go.
So what I'm trying to say here is that there have been many reports, and you can even look this up. There's actually intel on the internet that says that our Victorian police force is an ABN number. An ABN number means Australian Business Number. That means it's a corporation. No army, no police.
Wow.
No government should be a corporation. That is our business. So can you see where we're coming from? Okay, it was stated, and I know quite a few on here who are watching from Australia believe in this, because I notified them you guys would be on, that the initial corporation was started in Washington, D.C. for our Victorian police force back in the 90s.
What?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, and I also saw a Texas corporation incorporated with that as well, back in the early 2020s, No, earlier than that. Wow. Anyway, so this is what we're dealing with. Okay, so without rule or law. Now, anyone out there has heard me say for the last few months we've been living without rule or law. Oh, Lynn, you can't say that. No, yes, I can, because no law is standing up in court here in Australia now. We have a kangaroo court. It's absolutely not true. The police know that, okay? We're only under directives. We are not under our constitutional rights. Directives. Your directives are masks. So, guys, you look, Angry in New York City, he's going through this right now. Directives, not law. You know what I'm talking about, guys. Be aware of that. Don't run. Look, people are saying, oh, I must go and tell the police on that. Yeah, well, go tell the police and see where you stand in this situation right here in Australia right now if you've got a problem with crime, honestly.
Wow. That's mind-blowing. The fact that your federal police force is owned by or started by a corporation from Washington, D.C. What? I mean, that's crazy.
Look it up. Do your own research, guys. It's there. It's all over the net. They haven't taken it down. They're very arrogant about it. They don't care anymore. Now, look, you have heard me say in chats before, I do believe the UN's here. I've had pretty strong, good intel on that. And, that's so we know where that leads, okay? Right. One gentleman told me that they're wearing the black flags on their uniforms. That is a no flag. We know that. So that's a no flag. And it's also stands for the UN, okay? So work that one out.
So, you mean on the Australian flag is black on their uniforms?
No,
that's flag?
Instead of wearing the Australian flag, certain police in these protests are wearing a black flag. They're mixing them in, okay?
The UN.
Yeah, right. They're mixing it in. So, dark blue uniforms now the guys have been wearing. Oh, but some of them you can't tell. Are they black uniforms? Don't know. So this is where we're going. Trust no one. Test everything. Right, and that's what you got to be. And even I'll go one step further. Okay, there are some groups here in Australia that have been set up as freedom fighting groups. I know for a fact that one of those, a guy who's a freedom fighter, who's an honest, God-fearing man, who's an ex-policeman, has just spoken out and said the leader of that group is an infiltrator. He's from ASIO, which is like your CIA. So, you know, we've got people that are now wanting to stand up for freedom, and their leaders are not for them. They're only bringing in the net. I used to say to you guys last year, hey, us on YouTube, we're just bringing in the net for them. You know, we're netting them for them, the fish, right? And having said that, we got guts enough to keep on here, keep talking, and still try and build a community on YouTube. You know, you guys can in the USA still now. Okay, that takes a lot of courage. A lot of people don't have courage.
Yeah, let me ask you this, if you don't mind, Native.
Go ahead.
By you being on this stream and the things that we're going to dive into tonight, honestly, you have to worry about whether you're going to be attacked by the government, police, or anything. You're worried about your life when it comes because someone close down the road just got their life almost taken. Almost the same type of things going on, fighting for freedom, standing up. So you really are taking a chance by even doing this stream. Yeah,
exactly, Tribe. Wayne and I had a discussion about that. I don't think he was really that keen on me doing it, but then we worked out, look, do we want to fight? Both of us just, you know, we are not going to back down. And
but think about that. Everybody in the chat, think about that. She's Australian. She should not have to worry about her life and her husband's life and anybody in her family or friends just to get on YouTube and tell the truth about what's going on.
Absolutely.
Think about how deep that is.
Yes. Amen, Tribe. I agree totally. And that's what I've thought about for the last 12 months. I've had many sleepless nights. Okay. And so I'll bring it back to the chat. All right. You've got to work out where you stand right now for your freedoms. Is it that your calling is to just protect your own private family? Okay, good. Do that and do it to the best of your ability. If it's your calling to speak out to a community like us three are doing right now, do it with all your own heart, passionately, because, you know, we only have a limited amount of time to do this. And if you're scared of danger, well, you may as well give up now, because there's no way you will have fight in you. You've got to have the courage of conviction. Freedom is the only way, guys. I mean, I just can't believe that, you know, the frog boiling slowly in the pot. No, we jumped out of the pot a long time ago, us three are here talking, you know.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's like we're worried about live streams and getting strikes or getting demonetized or something simple like that. She's worried about her life and her family's life by doing a live stream. That's how serious this is over there, and that's how serious it's going to end up over here if we keep playing these games.
Amen. Yeah. And our Tribe, that's why I was stirring. I see Mad Chat, quite a few of you in the chat there. I haven't got my glasses on. Aussie Mum Homestead, great to see you, Rebecca. She's another freedom fighter here. Now, I used to stir you guys. Strikes? What do you want about strikes? It's not, we've never had a strike, Wayne and I. It's only been the government that's pulled down our videos that we can't put up or talk about anything. I've tried to get on Hutch's ones. Oh, I freeze up, look gawky. Why? Because they're doing it. So this is what you've got to be aware of. You've got to keep your sense of humour. How did soldiers go into battle and sit in the trenches, in muddy trenches? They kept their sense of humour. They kept their camaraderie. Meanwhile, they thought the next battle the next day could be their last. And what were they doing? Fighting for their families and their countries. This is what we've got to do, guys. Yeah, store that tuna. You know, Tribe, I've seen what Nisi's done. She's done a wonderful job, you two, storing up food there, you know. Oh, Native, I've been watching you guys and we love so much what you're doing in your homestead. That is fantastic. But we need to go one step further and train our families. Hey, look, we are in this in a very careful way so we don't get the mental breakdowns. But yeah, look what we're doing. This is good. But hey, this is to the death for some of us, you know.
I hear you.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I watched.
Don't think I'm.
Go ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
Look, there's so much I could say, and look, I'm probably not saying it. I'm not a drama queen, okay? So, but this is tyranny, and tyranny is nothing we've understood until we've walked in it ourselves, okay?
100%.
You can go fight for another country. Go if you've been deployed to Afghanistan, but you're not fighting for. It's different. It's actually different when it's on your own turf. It's totally different. Do you agree with me, guys, that it's different when it's in your own backyard?
100%.
And you don't have. It's not like you're fighting an enemy. You're fighting your own country in a way.
Yes.
It's. I can feel your frustration. Even when we were backstage, I can just feel you. Like it just breaks me down inside. Like I just want to come over. I wish you lived here so me and Native could rush over there to your house and just stand guard.
Exactly.
Like, you need to go somewhere, get in the car. We with you. Let's ride.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you know, I'd put on a good dinner and you and Wayne could have a good chat around the table about where we're going tomorrow with this freedom fight. This is what we've wanted. We've wanted you guys over here, but you know, that's how it is. And we're all on our own in different ways.
Right. Yeah. Just want to say hey to my wife. She's out of town. Her mom's had a birthday yesterday, and her sister has a baby shower today. So hey, honey, I love you. Thank you for being here. But you know what, Lynn, I was just as I was listening to you, and I remembered I watched a video. I want to say it was a couple of weeks ago. I can't find it anymore. I looked for it all day today. YouTube must have took it down. But it was a guy in Australia, and he was talking about how locally the local people, the local government, it's legal for them to form some kind of militia or something. I wish.
Yeah. I know what you meant. Now that video was actually another setup. Okay, what? So yeah. So it was the federal police guy. That's what you're talking about. He was speaking out, saying they wanted to start their own police force. Oh, police. Right. We can't say force. Sorry, it should be more police. I don't know. You know what I mean, anyway.
Group.
All right, so they put that out. I got heaps of people sending that to me, right, saying this is the way to go. Look, it was false hope. I said straight away this could be just them smoking us out, and it was. And they actually ended up saying this was all a fraud. They found 45 police uniforms. I mean, it was all fabricated story. And this is where I'm saying about intel versus information. That was set up. Do you know how many people contacted that guy with their emails, with their phone numbers, right? Oh, wow. So there we go. They've got a whole heap more in their little basket. This is why, you've just got to be so careful in every tactic they're using on you. I don't think you guys have had personally tactics being used on you yet. Many Australians have, you know. It's they've got entrapment. Now, I think entrapment is actually illegal in the USA. They actually made entrapment. Hey,
they still do
it. They still do it. That's it, you know. And so, yeah, but entrapment was actually made legal here in Australia before 2020. So there you go. What? They had their plans. Yeah. So, anyway, getting back to that, this is why you need, you know, everyone used to say keep your head on the swivel. Well, you better have it swiveling around, because you better know who's an infiltrator, who's your best friend, who's going to walk through the wall with you. This is war. Brad Hazard, the chief health officer for New South Wales, said, 1 week, this is a war game on the Australian people. You can find it. It's on the internet. He said that. Yes. And then Brad Hazard, who not many people like here, I won't say what they call him, then he came out and he said, we are at war with, so twice he said it. And New South Wales is in a mess. Now, we do have, now on a lighter note, guys, I just want to say that there is a channel called Aussie Cossacks. They're Russian guys, and he's been, if you go on Aussie Cossack, you will see what he's been doing in Sydney, and the police pull him up every day, and he plays Waltzing Matilda in the car, and he has his Australian flag flying high.
Right.
And this guy just he does a really good job dealing with the police. You need to know how to deal with the police, and not in the old way. It's got to be in the new way.
Yeah.
For real, no doubt. Hey, mods, if would you say Aussie Cossack? If you guys can find that
Aussie Cossack, yeah.
if you guys can find that channel, man,
Appreciate it.
drop a link. Hey.
Yeah. So you know how I was. You know how I was saying a few weeks ago on live chat, you've got to be like the Russians. People are like, "What? What does she mean by that?" You got to be like, you got to get that Russian spirit in you, and like drink a bit of vodka and then go fight the war on your streets. That's how they've done it for years, So look,
well, America used to have that spirit. Australia used to have that spirit. They're stripping us of that spirit all around. We can all bring that spirit back.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
And it's about overreach. It's about government tyranny. It's the same thing, like you said, Angry's dealing with in New York. They're setting up a whole police squad to run the mandate stuff.
Yeah.
If you don't go along with the mandates, they will have special police to come and take care of you.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I wanted to ask you this, Lynn. We were talking earlier about how you guys in the 90s, they started attacking your Second Amendment rights over there, or whatever you guys had, your right to bear arms over there in Australia. But Joe's been bringing this up a lot on our Discord. Joe Morgan, he was telling us how the U.S. government has banned the import of Russian ammunition and gun parts and stuff like that. And when he said that, a lot of the ammunition that I use just for target practice and stuff, it's the Russian ammo, whatever. But and I thought about that because it's cheap. That's why I get it. And I was thinking about, is there anything like in Australia, was there anything like that you guys saw coming kind of when they first started? Because over here, like I said, we have the Second Amendment, but they're attacking it in every way they can.
Yeah, well, look, with you guys, I knew that they were going to come down heavily as soon as they started bringing up about the gun laws for you guys. Of course, everyone knew that. But for us, we were slammed down very quickly. They did not want – we're in Victoria, right? So we were the first country in the world to have such hard lockdowns. They did not want to give us warning. They did not start any of the law changing or anything like that. They just wanted to experiment on us, our state. They did it. We're still surviving it, even though there's a lot of suicides and all the rest of it, but we're still surviving it. So this is what I'm saying. You guys get a little bit more warning because you've got 350 million people in your country and they've got to use different tactics on you. I keep saying that. They'll use different tactics. Having said that, when it comes to lockdowns, you can watch us and see how they deal with us and be prepared for that. Now, your native tribe, your solution-orientated guys. Wayne and I are solution-orientated guys. What's the solution to this? What is the solution to lockdown when you can't get out of it, okay? You are in that communist state. You are, right? New York City right now. What is the solution? The solution should have already been made, which was make sure you have at least 6 months supply of food up, okay? The solution is make sure you are healthy. The solution is make sure you have your contacts on the ground that you trust. Otherwise, you're going to be very alone and isolated. And we know what happens when people are in isolation. They lose the plot, okay?
Cabin fever.
And then moving on from that, Wayne's and my solution now is every day we analyse. You have to sit down and analyse each day. It's not, we'll just go to work today and forget about it or work on the farm. Each day we are analysing. Our daughters are analysing with their husbands, their businesses each day. That's what we've got to do, guys. The solution is to stay strong, pray, believe in our sovereign rights. Our sovereign rights, what are they? Do you know your sovereign rights?
Right.
Okay, I think Prepper Tribe and Native know their sovereign rights. I hope everyone in the chat knows their sovereign rights. What are you entitled to as a civilian in a country, as a patriot in a country? Know it.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought about that too, Lynn. On like our Constitution, or not even the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, you know, says that all human beings are endowed by the Creator with certain inalienable rights, and he said all human beings. He didn't say all Americans. And so, if as Americans, if we believe in our Constitution, if we believe in the Declaration of Independence, we have to believe that every human being on the planet has the same rights that we do because they've been endowed with those rights by the Creator.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you guys over there, man? I mean, it should strike to the heart of us, and we should reach out to you guys. But I wanted to ask you this: at this point, like we saw the footage of the different protests in the different major cities in Australia.
Mhm.
What at this point is the average Australians who believe in freedom, who believe in liberty, who aren't going to back down? At this point, and say as much as you want to on this.
Yeah.
How are you guys organizing to fight back and stand up for your personal liberties?
Okay, so we have different groups that are getting organised. Some are very corporate minded and politically orientated, so they're giving out a lot of legal information for people. So you've got lawyers that are freedom fighters, so they're making documents up for all the people out there in Australia that want to stand up to their employers, have got no idea about that. So we've got lawyers, we've got nurses and doctors speaking out and giving information so the average person can and stand on their own rights within the medical field. Okay, that's fantastic. That's really good.
I applaud them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and Tribe here in Australia and Native, every doctor has been informed that they are inciting if they actually speak out or say anything about it. So they lose. I think it's the same in America. They lose being a doctor if they say, "Well, no, we don't think you should take this." If people ask advice, you've got to come in and just ask for it. Right now, you know my opinion on that. Tribe, I know you've had the V once, okay? Exactly what Native said. We are all human beings, okay? We're supposed to be fighting for freedom. Now, Wayne and I won't be taking it. Does that mean I disrespect Tribe any less as my good comrade? No. Now, it gave me a shock when you had it because I didn't know, right? I'm just being honest here, but I love you as a brother, Nisi, and Wayne and I talk about you both a lot. This is what's missing, and this is what we need in the groups, okay? Right now, they're just forming. Loyalty. Loyalty is so important. Loyalty comes from a relationship between a man and a woman. I'm not going to say a woman and woman because I don't believe in that, right? From a man and a woman, and you build out from there, okay? Right. So right now, we're just in the processes of getting loyal groups set up. Okay, farmers. There'll be freedom fighting farmers here that will be saying, right, who needs food? Right, we'll supply this for you because you can't get food. Nice. On every construction workers, they'll be out there. This is where our mag groups, go deeper.
Yeah.
Right? This is where we're at.
But and there's people, like when I got mine, it was back in April. It wasn't like some mandate came along or some this or that. Like it was my own thing, my personal choice. But there's things that if you realize, because I think it's hard to trust when you're fighting something so hard, and then there's a little something it'll make you question them. But like let's just say that I was in your mag or your group. You could utilize me in ways like nobody in the group has the thing, so they can't go to a store. Well, guess what? Give me the list, give me the money. Let's put all our money together. I'll take that trip. I'll go get everything for everybody. There's ways to help, even though I may have done something that wasn't with the program of what you're going at. But that's not the fight. You're not fighting. You're not fighting the jab. You're fighting the mandates and the tyranny and the. I stand with y'all 150,000%. Like I will back y'all to the end of time.
I know that,
what I mean?
Tribe.
And my family, I will back them to the end of time.
That's,
right?
I know, and that's exactly what you're saying there, my friend. Is exactly the times that we're in now. We're all going to have differing opinions on different things, but if our main focus is that we have a world system against us and we keep fighting against that. This is what will keep us strong. This is what will keep us strong.
100%. Yes. I mean, I had some clips that you shared with me, Lynn, and through email. Just a couple. One was the protest that was in Melbourne. Was it yesterday or today?
Yeah.
Or it was yesterday.
Yeah.
It was yesterday. The part of the protest in Melbourne, I think the police were shooting people. It looked like with beanbags. You couldn't tell. But I'm gonna play that for you guys. And then there's another one. I think it was a Facebook video of a trucker who is standing up and talking about what the truckers want to do. And I think that's important because there's a trucker shortage in our country already. And I've heard about strikes. If the truckers striked in our country, guys, it would affect all of us immediately, like within a week or two. It really would. And I think a lot of the prepper channels talk about how most grocery stores only have a 3-day supply of food. So if the truckers struck, for a week or two, it would shut down a lot of things. And we're already seeing shortages worldwide, not just in our country, but worldwide. I think people are. And what's going on with you guys over there? It's going on in a lot of other countries. It's going on in Canada. What's going on, in Europe and different countries. The same people are rising up in France and Germany and UK. Just average people who just want to be free to live their lives and make their own decisions, and their governments are oppressing them. Excuse me. But I'm going to share. Go ahead, sis, while I'm sharing. I'm just going to get this share. You go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely, Tribe. And that's the thing, even Ireland, we're seeing, we know the Irish guys are fiery fighters. Well, they're trying to wade their way through this at the moment. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see.
You're not going to do that. You're going to shoot that. You're going to shoot.
I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I need to turn off my microphone so there's not a echo.
Okay.
Hold on one sec. All right. That should be it.
What is that? What is that? What is that? Fucking come! Do it again! Do it again!
That's got to be so hard to
As
watch.
truckies, we will block all.
All right, that first part of the clip was just the protests in Melbourne. You want to go a little bit in detail, like why are they protesting, and like what are their goals, like just you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I will. Okay, so we're looking at Melbourne before, and Melbourne was actually, as we know, had the ring of fire around it. That means a 5K zone. That means curfews, 9 p.m. They can't go out between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. People were rising up against that. Businesses have been destroyed. They haven't been able to be open for the last 12 months at least, because of lockdowns. They're broken. They're broken people. Mortgages aren't getting paid. Families are being destroyed. So we saw the uprising in the streets of Melbourne yesterday. Now, will a lot of those people stand and be able to stand in the future because they might not think the same of us? They're maybe knee-jerk reacting. I hope they do. I hope they learn what we're saying. I hope they learn to prep. A lot of them still don't know about prepping, but they're retaliating. That's the main thing. They're getting the fire in their belly. So, yeah, the police have said that it's actually, they've been double speaking. So they've been saying that protests are illegal, but then again, our police commissioner came out and actually said, it's a human right to protest as well. So they're playing games. They want people, and look, they were told, all the protesters, to protest peacefully. Of course, they always are. Rubber bullets were fired. And Wayne and I saw that firsthand live. We're 4 hours away from Melbourne. So, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know how many people were arrested. I'd say there'd be thousands arrested by today, because a lot of regional people would have went down there, would have been out of their 5K zones. So, yeah.
Wow. So, I mean, I know, and I showed protest in the beginning of the show, but Were these protests going on all over in the major cities in Australia?
Yeah, they were. So it was Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, local towns, small towns were doing it. Now, they will be ridiculed because you'd only have a fair, like 50 people maybe in a town of 10,000 people. They were sticking their noses out and protesting as well. But if people see it, enough people see it, they will wake up. Like what you're going to show now, Native, this trucker. He's one of many that have gone out on BitChute and Rumble and TikTok and Facebook saying, no, this is enough. Enough is enough.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and show it. But, man, like when I watched it, this dude made me, like, he touched all my patriotic nerves. And, like, I was right there with him. I was ready to go and just be a trucker with him, you know. But let me go ahead and let me play the clip, guys. It's just another patriot, guys. If you consider yourself a patriot, you should see this dude as a brother.
All your highways, we'll block all your ports, and we'll even stop what we need to stop. There is nothing you will be able to do. You back off. These are our roads. This is our country, and we will run it how we want to run it. And for the kids, what you're doing, right, is disgusting. What you've done in Round 'em Up in New South Wales is disgusting. We are going to run this country. We are taking it back. Us truck drivers are going to be the front line, and whoever's behind us, we are going to take our country back. You politicians make me sick. You guys are filthy. You guys do not represent us people, and you don't represent this country.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. So that's the consent of most truckers, because they have to have 2 jabs to go from border to border. So that's another issue I'll touch on really quickly, Native and Tribe and all the people in the chat, is border control. So we've had border control here since probably August last year. Victoria was blocked off from all other. We could not go to another state unless you had a work permit. That was it. Now they've got stronger border controls. If you want to go to a hospital, there's Tweed, Hexton, Coolangatta, which is on the New South Wales and Queensland border. They're twin towns, and the border runs in between those 2 towns. The one hospital is in Queensland. The people in New South Wales cannot go to that hospital in Queensland. Why? Because they have to be V'd before they do. Where is our choice? Where is our choice here? You know? And so this is what we're talking about, guys, is our freedom. We choose to prep. Us 3 on here right now, guys, in the chat, we choose to prep. If you don't choose to prep, that's your prerogative. But face what will come in the future on your own right, on your own merit. Each of us have our own merit to live on, okay? We're prepping for a reason. The reason is to keep our starvation away from our family. You know, that's not an over-exaggeration. We know that happens in other countries, okay? Yeah. And we're in for the long haul. So we need to know how to grow our gardens. We need to know how to have our fruit trees like Wayne and I have, and like ghost shows. We need that. But these trucker guys have woken up. Hey, we don't have any choices anymore. So what do we do about it? We'll stop the food supply. So Rip Curl hit it on the head in the chat. Rip said, Tribe, do you want to elaborate on that?
Yep, he said the National Guard will come in and take it over and keep it going. But that's what the government would love to have happen. Yep. Take it out of the people's hands and have government have control of people's foods. That's it. Come on.
Yeah. There you go, brother.
And I wanted to ask Lynn, I wanted to ask you, did you hear about Facebook and how they want people to turn in their friends and families for over prepping?
Yeah.
I mean, so we're going through some things right along with you. I know you know, but I mean, it's just unbelievable to me to think that I could be buying extra food to make sure my family eats in case of an emergency or in case of anything, or all the stuff we've been through, and I'm going to be turned in like a criminal because I'm trying to make sure my family eats.
Yeah, right. Absolutely, Tribe. Yeah, that's it.
I was get ready to ask Lynn something, and Tribe interrupted me. No,
I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry,
brother. I'm kidding. You know what? I was just gonna say. I was thinking about when I first got acquainted with Homestead Aus channel with Lynn and Wayne, and watching their stuff. You know, they were homesteaders, and they would have these beautiful videos of them going out into the wilderness where they lived in Australia and collecting wild edibles and bringing them back, and how they would process them. And sometimes Lynn would can them, and she would cook meals with them sometimes, you know. And I just remember that, and I like to watch it, you know, because even though the wild edibles they had are not here, it was still it just went to show, though, there are wild edibles here that I could do what she's doing, or whatever they were doing. And I missed that. And now you guys are going through this. And so as preppers, as homesteaders, I wanted to ask you, with what's going on in your country right now, like what is your position now? Like, as preppers, what are you doing now? Like, what is your focus every day to make sure, you know what I'm going at? Like,
I know where you're going. Okay, so for the last probably 20 years, Wayne and I have learned foraging skills, all the rest of it, because we always were a bit crazy and thought something might happen, you know, and it's happening. So do you remember Chernobyl happening and the people didn't get any food because no one would go into that area where the villages were because they might be radioactive? They foraged. Now, I'd hate to think how much radioactivity was in their food, but they survived off that, you know. And so, there's 29 different types of herbs, wild weeds just growing in my backyard, let alone going out on the farm. So that's the attitude. What I'm trying to say is we are prepared for anything. I said before, we won't be going to the medical doctor. I've got all my herbs that I think that can be for heart clots, for my kidney disease, for Wayne's issues, for everything. We've got all that stored up. I beg everyone out there right now, if you haven't done it, go and get what you need for your family now medically, so you've got it on hand. It's so important, you know. And the only thing I haven't got is an IV drip, which I need to get that and practice that somehow. But so all right, you know that we've got a lot of food stored up. So Prepper Nerd has a good inventory system that I've bought. I've got to set that up. 100%. But I do think you know, if anyone out there, sorry, Native.
No, you good. I was just saying, Nerd's got it going on. Yeah,
he has. And if anyone out there, you know, if you can't afford a lot of preps, us preppers always say this to you: if you can't afford a lot, buy some seeds and just put some seeds in some pots and start growing some things like Ghost has been doing, you know. It's so cheap and it's great to get out in that sunshine. So gardening, canning, prepping the food away, dried food, you know, we don't have to spend $1 million. You know, beans aren't dear, you know, they're only going to get dearer and shorter in supply. So grab them now if you can.
We're going to try growing some stuff this winter in the house, herbs. Maybe even a tomato plant. We're going to give it a shot.
Nice.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, well, I mean, that works well if you've got a bit of sunlight coming through windows, all the lights up, you know, the lights would be great.
There you go.
That'd be good. But
so if you could tell folks, like, seeing what you guys are facing right now over there and looking where we are, kind of coming up behind y'all, maybe a year, maybe a couple of years, maybe a few months, we don't know. What would be your advice? I know we've been saying prep, but specifically, if you could tell people right now to help prepare to go through what you guys are going through, what would you tell them?
First and foremost, you need your brain right. Okay, so that takes training, and many of us can fall into anxiety. There's a lot of people out there that have anxiety issues. I really recommend that you work out those anxiety issues now before things get worse, because it's not going to look good for you. You need to learn how to deep breathe, change your mind patterns into, if you're starting to worry about something, get your mind off that worry and go do something productive, like go out in the garden or buy some preps while you can, okay? We need the camaraderie. Look, basic principles are what humans need is we need love most of all. And so for me to be on here, and I love you and Tribe Native so much, Wayne and I do, this is building me up. This is making me feel good, you know, with what we're going through at the moment. So love first, mental attitude, like just really get that military mind of compartmentalizing things. Like, okay, I can't do that now. Why worry about it? Let me focus on what I can do right now. You know, help out a friend. Always when you help out a friend, it makes you feel good, you know. I've got lots of eggs on the farm at the moment, lots of eggs. So anyone that comes, anyone, well, we can't have visitors, of course, but, you know, eggs, you know, give away some eggs if you've got them. Bake a loaf of bread for some people. But on a bigger note, those small things help. But on a bigger note, I think Ghost and Backwoods do it well. They talk about scenarios. It's nothing better. You guys know that, hey, mate, what do you think about this? Like, and Prepper Tribe, when he gets on with Josh and you guys, you know, I love watching that because you're speaking out, you're doing scenarios. What if that can happen, do that? And you get off there thinking, okay, we feel in more control of our life. It's good, you know.
100%. 100%.
You know, I gotta be honest. I did not realize until this last week, because me and Native been going back and forth, and Native has been opening my eyes to what's going on in Australia. You know, I just, you get so caught up in so many things. It's hard sometimes. You don't see it. You know, you got so much other things that you're seeing that you don't see it. And now my eyes are wide open. I'm worried to death about y'all. And I just want you to know that you can text me and Nisi any time of the day. You can, email me. You don't have my number. I'll give you my number, but you can email us any time of the day, even if you just need to vent and you want to let off some cuss words. And let me tell you, I do not repeat what I'm told. You can ask Native. We've been friends for a year now. I do not repeat.
No, I believe it. And that's what you guys have developed over there. Is just fantastic. Tribe, we've watched you and we know what you do, and we talk to people that you talk to behind the scenes, and it's just such a blessing for you guys to have that community set up. You guys are going to have to be getting stronger and stronger because your community is going to rely on you a lot more in the future. So that's where you're pulling together. Yeah, our solutions locally are to get that mag group of who's got skills, find out who's got what. At the moment, we're writing that right now. Like, what do you know? What do you care? What do you do? You know?
Yes, 100%.
And trying to learn how to trust people too.
Yeah.
I do got one strong question, but I got a feeling Native has one already, so I don't want to make him go squirrel and forget.
Nah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. And this is a serious question.
Yep.
You're already going through so much in Australia, but what do you think is to come next? What is to come? What is the big plan? And how do you relate that to us and why we should be by watching y'all? Why should we be worried about it?
Okay. All right. So I've got a bit of a different opinion to some preppers out there. A lot are saying we're in a cycle, like with cycles, you know. Our dear friend Rudy says that, you know, and it's something that I don't really associate with because my study of what we're in right now, which is the New World Order, which is the AI system, which is a total collapse of the financial system.
Right.
We've never, ever, ever had this on a global scale, ever before. So I don't know. I think the reset must be their cycle, and for us to try and be on the fringe of that is what we're trying to work out now. So all we can say is Australian freedom fighters are trying to live on the fringe of the Great Reset, and you guys are too. That's what we're trying to do. We're fringe dwellers. Okay, so we know that people like, you know, the homeless, they've been fringe dwellers in society. Well, who are the homeless now in Los Angeles? Who are the homeless now in Portland because of what's happened in Portland? They are middle-class people who have chosen not to, so this is where we're at. We're fringe dwellers, guys, as well as preppers. So we've got to learn to adapt to the circumstances daily around us. Okay, we came in here today. We have to watch who's around us on the road because there's no one on the road. No one is driving on our roads. They're empty, so we stand out. Think about that. You want to be a grey man? You work out how you be a grey man in a country where there's no cars on the road and no people walking in the street.
Wow. I can't imagine that. Like when you told me about your neighbor and you told me about the 5 kilometer radius and stuff like that, and how the police are enforcing that. Like, are you guys out in the country, you and Wayne? Like, are y'all out?
Yeah.
So there are police patrolling country roads. Like, that is nuts, man.
Yeah. So when I did the live with Ghost, I said, look out the window right now. There's a checkpoint. Okay. So that was a while back. They've been going for ages here. Yeah. So checkpoint. Show your papers. It's Victoria wide. That is okay. So that'll only increase. What I can see will happen is that ID, the passport will be extended past the vaccination. It will have all your work, medical, you name it, it's going to be on there. You know that. So, whether you dyed your hair last week purple, it'll be on there, And, we know China's already got this in place, the social credit score. That's what Tribe's been trying to get me to say is, where's this heading? We're heading for total control over our lives, and how much can we salvage ourselves with our own lives? That's how I think.
There you go. Hey, I got a surprise guest, Lynn.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Wait a minute. They're mic and cameras. Anyway, I got someone. I invited someone on. Someone you know well. I'll give them time to come on. In the meantime.
Yeah.
I was going to open it up. I wanted to know if anyone in the chat had a question for Lynn from Homestead Aus, guys. A lot of you guys in the chat, I've been watching you. You guys are in Australia, and thank you guys for being here tonight and joining us. But if you have things to add, or you have questions for Lynn, or if you guys are not, please ask your questions. Put them in all caps, or at my name so I can see it. So we can get your questions up there, because thank you for coming on, Lynn, because you're so right, man. Everything you're saying, we should take what's going on in Australia and America as a cautionary tale, as our brothers and sisters, which y'all going through. We have to be careful, because if we're not careful, we're going to be where you guys are also. So anyway, here we go. Special guest.
Yeah.
Boom.
Oh, Ghost. How are you, Ghost? Speak of the devil.
What's up, brother? Can you hear us?
No, you can't hear.
You can't hear us?
No.
Check. Mic, check. Might have to go out and come back in.
Yeah, come back in, brother. Anyway.
So I was watching Ghost live on Afghanistan, and I think he was touching a raw nerve there with a lot of people. It was good, That's how we've got to be. We've got to keep putting iron against iron and talking out our issues, like Tribe said. Keep it up,
We have a question here from Stephanie Joe. Hey, Stephanie, good to see you. She says, what about the children being forced for the jabs?
Yeah. Okay.
You sent me a video, but you told me you didn't want to talk about it unless you could confirm some of the stuff. And I watched that video, and I was thinking, like, it was like they were trying to encourage kids to get the jab to get tickets to a concert. Is that what they were going to talk about?
Okay, so what do you call it? When you what do you call it when you go to college and you're in your last year, and then you have your, what do they call it when you finish college?
Homecoming type thing.
I don't know. It's when you finally pass. Well, in Australia. Yeah. Okay. So, selection. Okay, that might be what it is. All right. So, what that was about, that 24,000. Now, I've got Ghost on here who's going to keep me accountable, because he's always been saying about intel. That's why I didn't want to say too much about this. There's not enough intel. They're blocking it a lot here. There's only information underground about it. Okay. But Brad Hazard, the Chief Health Officer for New South Wales, did say, we want to he coerced those 24,000 he mentioned. He said, we've got 24,000 students in New South Wales. We want you to go get the vaccination, right? And, it's great, because, we've had great movie stars and singers and all the rest in this stadium. You'll love the stadium. We will have the police force and the army to escort you there. You will not be allowed to have your parents go into the stadium while we do it. Well, we know what happened. There's been all over Facebook, which I never did Facebook until a few months ago, but all over Facebook was people reporting. My friend's kid was there, and and the poor boy had bad reactions. Okay, you know, whatever that means. This is information I know, guys, not intel. The reports on the ground are there's 3 dead from just last week. They haven't done the whole 24,000 of them yet. Okay, and people, you know, poor girls are in comas, and that's just 3 deaths, let alone all the reactions. So the reporting, I personally believe, is true because we know how New South Wales is run right now. And we have seen, I've even had phone calls for myself. I'll quickly say it. I'm talking a lot here, guys, but I want to get a lot of info out. Wayne and I, for the last 6 months, have pushed our income. We've been trying to get our income totally to by September, which we've done now. We can survive the next 2 years because we knew we would not be able to do the buying and selling here in Australia without having this, you know what I mean, as farmers and lots of things. They haven't brought that in yet, but we're getting there. So we pushed it day and night. You saw me up with puppies. We were, you know, Wayne's been flat out with the cattle on the farm. He's been doing fencing. You've seen us go, 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 go. And we've been happy about that. Right. So now we move on to the next step, which is, what was my point on that? I've forgotten.
Coach, what's up, man?
Oh, just chilling, man. Just chilling, man. I've been watching you guys. I had my stream. I was only going to go for like an hour or so. It ended up going 2 hours. I'm like, no, we got to shut it down. Native's going live. Got Homestead Aus up there. We got to go check this stuff out. So
I appreciate it, bro.
Hey, bro.
I appreciate it, man. Hey, Ark Wildman has a question. He just wants to know, can you still buy food without the jab card over there?
Yeah, you can still buy food. I don't know for how long. Okay, so but yeah, a lot of restaurants, a lot of nurseries, a lot of businesses won't let you in unless you have been. So yeah, but you know, they're pointing at the truckers, guys. So it's going to be the truckers that'll stop the food because they're making them have it done on a nationwide basis. So yeah, okay. I hope I haven't talked too much, guys. But anyway,
no, you're good.
Not at all.
We've got plenty of time. We're only like an hour and 10 minutes in.
Funny. The funny thing is going to be when the population realizes what math is and how important numbers are. And when everybody says, you know what, nah, I'm done. I'm done with this crap. I'm stopping right now. Because the ones cracking the whip and doing the finger pointing, you know, they're outnumbered about, I don't know, like 700,000 to 1. Yeah. So how's that math work? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to take, man. I mean,
slow that curve.
Yeah. When everybody realizes 1 + 1 is 2, and math rules everything, and you have the numbers, that's when it's going to change. You know, this is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then every single day they're throwing another distraction at us.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Come on.
I mean, Tribe was mentioning earlier how, like, he just, like, I was just sharing stuff with him about what's going on in Australia. And he just hadn't heard it. It's because there's so much going on in our own country. We're distracted. You know.
Yes. I'm proof right there.
I mean, yeah, man. I mean, and I think
I knew Australia had it rough, but I didn't know the extent of it. And I didn't know that I had to worry about my friends as much as I do at this moment now.
Right.
I'm truly worried about you two.
Yeah, well, look, guys, we're really worried about you. It's really funny because we're in the midst of the storm right now. But Wayne and I keep saying, like even last night we sat by the fire and Wayne and I go, how are our guys in USA? I hope that, you know, we were talking about this because that love bond is there. We've got that brotherly, sisterly love between us all. We are looking out for each other. People in the chat, I just hope you keep doing that with your own private little groups and everything because it's so important. Look out for each other. Make a phone call, make a text, you know, and
press 1. We stand with Australia. Press 1.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Green Thumb GTP's got a question. He just wants to know one thing. One thing we should prep that you're seeing as the major thing.
Say that again. Sorry, Native.
He said, what's the one thing we should prep that you're seeing as the major thing? We kind of already talked about this. Yeah.
One thing that we should, prep that we see as a major thing. Oh, that's a really hard one. Don't you guys agree? Like that,
Yeah, I mean, it really is. That's the one question. Like
Yeah,
when you're talking about shift, I mean, most people just say food and water, man. Like,
yeah.
but
But for us right now, like cash on hand, that's really important. But then how long is that going to last for? So, tangibles, like your mind's going like this, like, okay, Wayne, let's sit down. We need to talk about tangibles. What do you need? Do you need a new rotary hoe, or do you need this, or do we need more seeds? Okay, but how much cash do we have on hand if we can't go and buy stuff? Will we be just doing internet shopping? I don't know.
right,
That's where it's
right.
heading. So, yeah.
I hear you. Sherry Leach asks, "Is your family standing with you?"
Now that's a question, Sherry, that I feel is a personal question, and I'll talk about it a little bit here, but I never like to bring that up because there's a lot out there that watch all of us that their family's not standing with them, and I
Right.
get a bit upset for them. So, yeah, it's taken quite a while, but our daughters and their partners agree with how Wayne and I think. But, we've got a lot of friends out there on YouTube and personally who their children aren't following them. But, when I say following, I'm in their face all the time, and I think a lot of you guys would be with your own families. You've got to be like, okay, I send them and they're going, oh, Mum, look, I've got a new baby. I don't really want to think about this right now. My daughter's down at Phillip Island. She's having her second baby. Oh, look, but just watch it, Dal, because you might learn something from this, and yeah, that's how it is. Yeah.
And you
There
got
you
to be
go.
careful. You got to be careful when you like. And I'm not jumping in nobody's stuff, but when you ask a question about somebody's family when they're in a situation like Australia, and I want to say this because I want people to realize just how serious it is in Australia. She could possibly say something that would have the government knocking on her family's door and taking
Yeah.
them up out of the household.
Yeah.
Right.
They're doing that in Australia. They're knocking on people's doors and taking them away.
Yeah. Yeah. So that tribe's right. Yeah.
I have a new prep I want to share with the prepping community.
Go ahead, brother.
Chess.
Yes.
If you've never played chess, learn how to play it. And then look at what's going on in the world today.
Yeah.
Right.
We're just pieces on a board.
Yeah.
Right now, the most important thing to me to prep is knowledge. Not knowledge on how to prep, but like intelligent knowledge. All this dark information, all this smoke and mirrors stuff. If you really want to prep, you need to teach your mind how to see through all this bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like I said earlier on my stream, we're all looking out of the same window, but I'm seeing my house, I'm seeing my yard, my car, my neighbors, the street, I'm seeing the sky, the clouds, the trees.
Yeah.
Most of America is looking out of the same window, and all they're seeing is the curtains.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not even getting a view of what's going on outside.
Right. There you go, man. Absolutely.
It's
Facts.
insane.
So true.
It blows I get so pissed off. I
Yeah.
want to somebody. I'm
That's
like,
one of the most infuriating things about everything that's happened in the world and in our country and in your country, Lynn, is the people who are just blind to it because they don't care. They're too busy just, living this modern lifestyle that they don't even see what's going on.
Me and you talked about this, Native, and we talked about that. I mean, if you think about this, and I'll just say this real quick, I'm not going to take up too much time, but a lot of people in the United States, a lot of them got the thing.
Yeah.
So when they turn on the news and they say they're starting to talk about the thing and mandates, the people that got it, they turn the channel because they're like, oh, we got that thing. We don't even have to worry about this. But they don't realize that, no, you should keep that on and pay attention because everything that they're going to take away from my friend Native, Ghost, Lynn, anybody in the chat who don't have this, it's going to get you too. I'm going to suffer too. If they take away from y'all, they're taking away from me too and the people that have gotten this damn thing.
Yeah.
Like, we need to stand with y'all, and these people need to wake up.
Yeah.
But most people don't care. They got other things on their mind. They've got that thing, so they don't even pay attention to what the government is actually doing to the people, all of us.
Yeah.
When they take
yeah.
one person's rights, they're taking everybody's rights.
Right.
Yeah. So Tribe's right there. So, okay, the BLM protests, because of what happened last year with you guys in the USA, we had masses, tens of thousands come out. BLM protests last year. We were in lockdown. The government allowed that, okay? Every policeman bowed their knee throughout the world to the BLM protests. Now, I love my Indigenous folk. Wayne and I, we've got a lot of ties here. You know, we're not talking racism here. We're talking about a protest. A BLM protest was allowed. A protest for freedom yesterday was held. Did any policeman bow his knee to those freedom fighters? No way. They shot rubber bullets at those freedom fighters. Wake up, people. It's here. Like, you know, the hypocrisy, the tyranny, I could go on forever, but I won't.
I hear you, sis. Hey, Arkansas Whoop Ass has a question. They said, how close is Australia to totally falling?
Well, you tell me, are we going to see our Prime Minister being taken out of Parliament House by the numbers? That's what I call falling. Or will I say right now that I think we've fallen as a nation now, because it's going to take a lot of effort of resuscitation.
Right.
We've got to resuscitate our nation right now. It is on its last breath, really. And USA is there nearly now. The chaotic down, the immorality of society now is just so strong. People have been living immoral lives. How will they stand for freedom? You know, we're talking about loyalty here, guys. I hope I'm not yelling. We're talking about loyalty. We're talking about conviction. We're talking about fighting for our family's future, legacy. I know Hutch touched on legacy. Do we want to be older people that leave a legacy for our children? Yes, we do. The average person doesn't think about that. So when you ask that question, some people look at it in a context as, will the army be overthrown? Will the police force be overthrown? We are a dead society now because of the lack of loyalty and immorality.
Wow. Well said, sis. I appreciate that. Rich Mountains appreciate you. Freedom Sea Fund for sure, especially since they banned the sale of Russian bullets here. Those cheap bullets. Those are good for target practice. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
You save your green tip stuff for, you know, when the day happens.
Hey, Tribe. Native. I got one for you.
What's up, brother?
Just to put this whole fiasco. I like to try to rationalize things and put them in like I don't know, different, to make my brain understand stuff. So all this stuff that we've been going through for the last almost 1.5, 2 years now, and the way society is falling apart with all this craziness. I'm looking at us right now. We are like beginning week 4, maybe week 5 of basic training. You know, where the drill sergeants just beat you down, take everything away, completely take it all away, and then start giving back a little bit at a time and waiting on you to say thank you.
Yeah.
There you
go.
I agree, guys.
We're like beat dogs. You take it all away and give back a little bit of something. Something that was just something you had a whole pocket full of, and you get one and you say thank you.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good way to put it, man.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. Pepper Stead, I appreciate the sticker, brother. Happy birthday. I mean, sister, you know what I mean, Pepper Stead.
Okay, so we've got Shannon Lees in here. Hi, Shannon. How are you? That's Wayne's friend who we went to, as they were friends at school. And
oh wow.
I don't think Shannon's going to mind if I say that's our dear friend that got a lot of hell from the police the other fortnight. So everyone send Shannon some love, fellas. He's a great guy.
How you doing?
We stand with
hang
you.
in there.
Yeah.
Putting up a good fight.
Wow. Man, I mean, this is awesome, man. Thank you for coming on and letting us know. Like, it really is a war. I've been watching the chat, and people are saying that are thanking you for warning us, you know, for giving us the wake-up call. Because I really believe if we want to see what the plan is for America, we need to look at Australia. We need to look at Canada. We need to look at Europe. Yeah, when you look at these different countries, man.
Yeah.
Ragnarok, welcome to the Brave Nation. I appreciate you, brother.
It was funny seeing Tribe's face when Lynn was laying down the religion, a half hour, 45 minutes ago. He's like, what? Wait a minute. What? Because I felt the same way. I felt the same way when she came on my show 6 or 8 weeks ago. Before the show, we chatted for like a half an hour beforehand. And I'm like, what? They're doing what? Are you serious?
Disturbing.
I'm like,
but guys, I can smile because I don't care about death. Wayne and I and you guys are the same. It's our character, it's our friendships, it's what we do every day that lights us up. Okay, they can come tomorrow and take us away. Do I care? I've had the best friends I've had in all my life the last 12 months through fighting for freedom, and that's what it's about. If you don't know what that means yet, you will soon know, because USA is coming there too soon. But I think Ghost understands, Native does, so does Prepper Tribe. We do understand what it means.
I so salute you. I do. You are a soldier. To have the courage, to have the fight in you, to have the mind that you do, I so salute you. You have no idea. I have so much respect for you.
Thank you, Tribe.
Yeah, and your attitude too, Lynn. Like the way you've been about this, talking about how you and Wayne you're not backing down, you're not giving up, you're not quitting, you're not going to stop the fight. You're just going to continue to figure out better ways to fight. That attitude, man, that is the attitude of patriotism that all human beings all over the world, we need to unite together and support one another in any way we can,
Yes, indeed.
Well, the thing that's in all of our hearts, the four of us here, is we've got to reach more people. We've got to reach more people fast, and that's what we want. So, the more we get saved, open their eyes up, get the scales off their eyes, And guys, I must say, as a woman, my love for Wayne, there's no way is anyone ever going to be
we love him too.
That's for sure.
We love him too.
Tell him, give him our best, man. Tell him,
yes.
I know he just had, his dental surgery or whatever. Tell him speedy recovery, and we're with him. We're standing with you guys. OFC Nation, man, good to see you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But you made a good comment earlier about the parallels, and if you think about it from a I'm in charge of everything and I'm running the world and I want to see how things work, what better way to figure out how to come in America with 350 armed citizens that think for themselves than to go mess with Canada and Australia? I mean, you can't get any closer to being American other than a Canadian or especially an Australian. I mean, the population's a lot smaller. You can really get good numbers, and you can kind of try to see what you can expect. So if you like legit people watching right now, if you don't think what's going on in Australia is a beta test, you need to drink
absolutely.
You need to put the Kool-Aid down and pay attention. You need to put the Kool-Aid down and pay attention, okay? Because this is a straight up beta test.
It's just like they do in the States. They're working on the states to do that, and now they're working on smaller countries to see how they can get to the bigger countries.
Right.
You're absolutely right. I just agree with you 100%, Ghost.
Yeah, absolutely. And that question there, look, our voting system's the same as what your guys has been. So, it's been like that for years. You can't tell me any different. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Man, they are everywhere, huh? Dominion, they are everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, here, look, puppet on a string, they're just puppets on a string. That's
for those of you that don't know, that system was bankrolled, financed, and developed by the United States government.
There you go.
It was used, was used in Venezuela and several other South American countries. It's a documented CIA fact to influence elections around the world to go in the direction that it was supposed to go in, according to, one of those alphabet agencies. So for people to think that it doesn't work the way that it's hypothetically supposed to, it does. It's already been beta tested and it works really, really good. You just got to punch the right numbers in at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
I tell you, Native, just real quick, so I don't forget to say this later, and maybe it'll make you. As soon as you end this, you should download it, because you just never know, man. I mean, they've shut down Facebook for Australia. They've shut down Australian news sources. So,
Right.
this is a very strong live. I think it's very, very important, and I think
so
it should
too.
be downloaded and saved
Yeah.
in case anything was to happen.
I meant, you know what, Tribe? I meant to say this in the very beginning. If you guys have the capacity to screen record, go ahead and do it for this live, just so.
And share it, please.
Yeah, share it, man. Say, hey,
share.
All you gotta do is say, hey, you guys see what's going on in Australia, man? Like, they're fighting for the rights over there. You know, people need to know what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all, you know, what people think it is. It's not what the mainstream media says it is.
Okay, so we've now got legislation getting passed through too that all beef farmers in Australia, you know how Ice Age farmers been on it for ages, no more meat. Well, they're pushing that. So when you guys are talking about lockdowns in USA, they're going to bombard you with all these other things that other channels have been talking to all of us about, you know. So the sea is the cover, as we know, for all these other things to come in very fast. So if you think about your hurricanes over there, how they can just cause a whirlwind, this is what we're at now, right now. Wayne just said to me this morning, 5 big major issues we have with our farm right now, okay? And also local area. That is detrimental to us, right? As well as we're in lockdown. These things you guys have got to think about. If you've got your food, if you've got your water, if you've got your roof over your head, you can deal with as many issues as you possibly can. But if you're thinking of food and water as well, you're going to be drowning really fast.
Yeah.
Wow. 100%.
We're not allowed to have campers on our. Sorry, I'll rephrase that. Our government has just brought out in February that we can have anyone come on our farm. You will own nothing. What is it? And be happy. You will own nothing and be happy. What does that mean, Lynn? What are you talking about? I'll tell you. We got papers given to our farm, as farmers as we are, that says that anybody has the right to come and camp and squat on our farm now.
What?
Yeah. So why does the government want that? They don't want farmers. They're using any strategy they can at the moment to cut out our food supply. So up in the north of our state, on the Murray River, you know, squatters are going up there, taking over farmers' lands. These farmers you're right.
I would so much love to be there for that, because you want to talk about having a rough weekend camping in my yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I can't imagine. I can't. I just
either.
I can't. I believe you, but it's unbelievable that could be.
Yeah.
But I believe you.
So Tribe's got his backyard. He's got his nice lettuces growing there. Then, you know, 5 hippie guys do nothing wrong with hippies either. But I'm just saying, it might be 5 guys that go, wow, peace, love, and harmony. Let me go eat Tribe's lettuce. That's what they can do on our farm right now. Now, having said that, we go, you know, we're allowed to hunt on our farm. So we have some foxes. So, you know, Wayne likes to shoot a few foxes sometimes. I don't know how close to those camps the foxes might be. We have birding off that we can do. There's ways around it, I'm sure, but it's another thing that Wayne has to contend with all the time. So, yeah.
Wow. You know, I did want to ask you about one last thing. I meant to bring it up earlier before we got to asking the chat for questions, but there's been little clips and videos of them setting up quarantine zones in Australia. But how is that working? Because it seems like they're taking kids from their families and putting them there. Is that happening?
Yeah, okay. So a gentleman pulled out in Western Australia that his wife dobbed him in because he didn't have All right, I'll backtrack. All right, the Australian government said, oh, due to this C virus, we're going to have a lot of mental illness. So we need to put $400 million into the mental health of Australians. As soon as they said that, Wayne and I looked at each other and we went, that means, we know what that means, detainment and restraining orders, okay? So it's happening now. There was a guy in Australia, his wife is a pharmacist. It's online. If you can look it up somewhere, I don't know, but he's out there, right, still, they haven't taken it down. The police came, took him away because his wife said, my husband is mentally unstable. They took him away. And why was he unstable? Because he was a freedom fighter. So this is happening.
I've seen that. I think I seen the video on that. Was insane. That guy was as sane as you could be.
Yeah, as sane as you can be.
You can tell when somebody's off their rocker. He was not off his rocker, and he was in a place, and he couldn't leave. He because of his. I couldn't believe that. I couldn't imagine that.
That's right. Okay,
and that's how bad it's getting.
That's
They're
right.
making wives turn on husbands and.
Yeah. That's it. So now you're talking about children, all right? So children are getting taken away from their parents. That is intel goes. Children are getting taken away from their parents because someone might have C in their family. They were doing this in Canada last year, you know. I'm sure that your Health Act is the same. You guys have been on FEMA for how many years? You know, I've watched it for 20 years, you know, with you guys with your coffins and this and that and the other. I hope I'm not speaking too heavily here. But, yeah, so with Australia, we have had quarantine camps set up, built under the guise of something else, but people have been putting out those videos for years. Now it's blatant. In Victoria here, right near our Tullamarine Airport, they are building a $200 million quarantine centre. Okay, so what's a quarantine centre for? Really? You know, who is it for when everyone's V?
Right.
80% V, you know.
Well, I mean, if you're already under a major lockdown where you can't go 5 kilometers from your home, why do they need these quarantine centers?
Yeah.
And so is it just a cover, just to take undesirables so they have a place to put them?
Yeah, so we know what they're for. Okay, so yeah, you're right.
You know, it's probably going to be like has been done before in history. If you speak up, if you have a voice, if you could possibly incite other people to join into the hoopla, they'll remove you from the population. They want it nice, quiet, subservient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
It's going to be. Man, it's math, bro. I'm telling you, it's math.
Nation, man. I hear what you're saying, brother. Told you come to his house and stay in the field. You better watch out for the bull. Appreciate you, brother.
It's coming down to the numbers, man. There's going to be there's going to be one event. There's going to be one voice, and it's going to resonate. And that when that resonation happens and it goes nationwide, you know, across the continent, across the globe, things are going to change. I mean, but here, you know, the bad part is if you go back through history, and I'm a student of history, if you go back through history, every major rebellion, revolt, whatever you want to call it, every major thing that changed the course of history for that nation or that people, there was a cost to be paid. There was an upfront cost. It wasn't like pay as you go. It was upfront.
Yeah.
And it was ugly and it hurt, you know, and that's the bad part. That's the part that, you know, people like myself, I'm like, man, that cost being paid up front is what, you know, that's the key. Yeah. That's what sets it off. That's the fuse.
Yeah, that's it.
We haven't hit that point yet. And it's going to suck when that happens. But like legitimately now this whole thing is global. It's worldwide.
Yep.
And half the people on the planet, I mean, they can't see past their next stimulus check, their next Starbucks coffee. You know, they can't see out the window. Even, you know, it's hard to talk. I mean, it's hard to make sense to people like that. They don't understand.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And you know what we've got to say is to anyone in the chat, you've got to be prepared to give up your old life. Like okay, it was flowers and nice meals and going out for dinner and all these things, you know, that's the romance of coming into prepping. Oh, well, we feel great, you know, we've got this community. But as we're building this community of prepping, we're giving up our old life. Our old life's gone. Some people don't want to give up their old life. They want to have their cake and eat it too. You know, we can't do that.
Right.
That's gone. Those times are gone. You know, that's it.
Sit
No
uncomfortable.
travel. Yeah, you know, like when I'm talking here, there's no way that Wayne will ever be, I believe, be able to go to another state here in and Josh here in Yard Homestead believes this too. We believe each state now is a country, and without our permit papers, we can't visit interstate, friends. That's how it is. That's the old world that we knew. East Berlin Wall. We're talking about Germany all over again, once again.
Yeah, we are.
Wow. How many states are in Australia?
Well, there's Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Tasmania, Northern Territory, and Western Australia and South Australia. So add them up. I think
7.
Josh will tell me how many. 7 is there? Yeah, but yeah.
Sounds
And they're
like
playing
divide
each
and
other.
conquer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, and see, you guys have got your red states and your blue states. We do have too. So we're actually the Liberals, what you would call liberal. You know, our state here, yeah. So play with that one, you know, guys. We know how that works. So
Well, I mean, the messed up thing is the red states versus the blue states. It just makes the blue states, the states that are labeled blue, feel comfortable. But if you actually look at the numbers, those states are way more red than blue.
Yeah.
You know, if you look where the people are, it's just the population centers, and that's ground zero for the drama. You know, so it's. You know, it's going to be weird. It's going to be really weird. A lot of people are going to get a reality check. I mean, there's going to be a lot if it wasn't for the simple fact that there's going to be a lot of pain associated with it, it would make for a really good comedy show to watch brains explode from the man buns being way too tight and the skinny jeans cutting off circulation. It's going to be hilarious in a bad way.
In a bad way.
I see some. I felt something when she said that she won't be going to any other states. I mean, if you think about that, I mean, how much division is that? They are being divided right now, split up between the states, and it happens here. New York was cutting people off from coming into New York. I mean, that's a way of super division. That's super division. It's craziness.
It'll be coming to you guys in, I think, maybe 12 months, maybe. They're going to have to work on you guys a bit harder than us, but that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah, it feels like they're trying to go for the guns. They've been trying to since they saw how it went in Australia with you guys, with your government taking your guns, with the hyping up the shooting. And we were talking about that earlier, how the mainstream media told a bunch of lies about it and everything. But it feels like they've been doing that here for a long time. It just hadn't worked for whatever reason. You know, they haven't been able to go for our guns the way they have in pretty much every other country in the world. And I think that's what's stopping them for the most part. But I think they're trying to figure out how to get around that. They're trying to position themselves.
Yeah.
There was a person that made the most American statement ever a while back. And he's not American. And he said, Americans, do not give up your guns.
Yeah.
You know?
And who said that?
Putin.
Oh, Putin.
Oh, did he really? Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Well, there you go.
I do got one question that's kind of off the beat a little bit, but I know Australia went through a ton of fires. Like 70, it seemed to me when I was watching, it was like 70% of Australia was on fire, and you just had that happen, and then you're going through all this. Like I can't imagine the people that have lost their homes, lost all the people that do prep. They probably lost their preps. Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
Well, Tribe, Rip's on here. I think Rip had the fires around him, and you guys are continuing to have major fires. They won't stop them. What am I saying? Because we know here in Australia, most of our fires, they were not started by lightning. So that's another story too. And you know, Wayne used to be a firefighter when he was younger and used to fight all the fires around our area. He knows that they were not controlled at all. So, and I think you guys are the same. It's all about the agenda, you know, push them into the Agenda 2030 system and go for it. Do you guys have big walls built around your freeways coming out of the cities? Do you have like big 12-foot walls?
Charlotte does, and so does Raleigh.
Yeah, those are sound barriers for there's usually residential property right on the other side of those walls, so it's like a sound barrier supposedly to keep the noise down. But you know, it is what it is. You know, a lot of people too. I've had a couple of comments from other people when I was talking about the Australia thing going on my channel, and they're like, how do you do that? How do you basically enslave a population of an entire continent as big as Australia? I'm like, first of all, before you ask that question, do research on Australia. Most of the population of Australia lives on the coast. I mean, what is it? Like 70% of Australia is just brutal. It's like hell. You know, nobody lives out there. So I mean, they're all you guys are like condensed in these seaside cities. So it's like taking over Miami. Just shut off the Everglades and don't let anybody go north, and they can't go anywhere.
So that's right. So the grid system, everything's all down that coast, exactly what you guys have got. Really, you've got the same thing there, Florida, California, all those, a lot of high density population through there as well, haven't you? You know. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you took the states and everywhere from the Appalachian Mountains all the way over to the west side of the Rockies, and you empty it out, that's Australia.
Yeah.
They're just on the outside edges, the coast.
Yeah. Nisi had a question. She just said, "Are Australian borders closed?"
Yeah. So Australia borders like Victoria border. Wayne did a video. Probably September last year. We were right on the border, and Wayne made a joke with me on that video. We're on McKillops Bridge, and Wayne goes, "Oh, we're breaking the law here." We weren't. The day before they'd opened the border, but they've been continually opened and closed. Now we believe firmly they will not be opened at all again. Okay, this is what they've been pushing for 12 months.
I thought I saw somewhere on one of the fake news channels that there was like a plane load of refugees from Afghanistan that landed in Australia.
I don't know about that. So, but I do know there's been lots of plane loads of Chinamen landing in Australia. So there we go.
Really?
Yeah. So, the curfews, all right. Let me hang it out there then. So the curfews, we've got 9 p.m. curfews in Melbourne. Funny how all these planes are flying into Melbourne all during the night when no one's allowed out of their homes. Yeah. Work that one out.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
That's crazy. Prepreneur, appreciate you, my brother. You're a good man.
And that's what's so great about Lynn. I just want to tell the chat and everybody who watches this now and watches it later, when we sat backstage before the show, Lynn told me and Native, she said, "I'm not going to say anything that I can't back up. I have a couple stories that I'm working on, but I'm not going to mention them because I don't have the solid proof."
That's right.
So when you listen to Lynn, I vouch that you, and maybe I'm not somebody that should be vouching, but I'm sure Native would too. I'm sure Ghost would too. You can trust everything that's coming out of her mouth to be truth and stuff that she has researched and found facts. These are facts. This is real. This isn't conspiracy.
When you're talking to Lynn about this whole thing that's going on right now, you're literally looking into the future. You're 6 to 10 months ahead of us right now.
Yeah.
So you're literally looking into, if people are sitting in their house wondering, I wonder what things are going to be like 10 months from now. Ask Lynn. She'll tell you. They're doing it right now.
Yeah, just call Lynn Nostradamus, like I'm looking into the future for you guys right now. And that's it.
Right.
So how do Wayne and I want to give this out right now. How are Wayne and I thinking right now? we've got an attitude of appreciation right now. Thank God we have each other, right? If I was on my own doing this, whoa, I'd be finding it a lot harder because I've got my teammate of 37 years right by my side, okay? Thank God that I have my mates here that I'm talking to right now. So important, right? Bouncing off ideas. Me allowed to blab my mouth out here, whereas I can't do that if I walk out in the street. All I got to do is top my hat and say, "Good day, sir," with your mask on. That's all I can do, Appreciation for the things we have got. Look out for the things that you're going to lose and forget about them. You're going to lose some rights, but you're going to keep your freedom for your own independence if you fight to the end. That's all I can say.
100%. I just want to thank you, Lynn, for coming on and doing this with us and giving us this warning and kind of a wake-up call, too, for America. Like Ghost said, we're looking in the future. I believe it 100%. This is what our government would love, where they would love for us to be where you guys are right now. I have no doubt in my mind the people running our country would love for us to be where you are right now. Yeah. And we're coming up. We've been going for an hour and 50 minutes. I wanted to keep it under 2 hours, just because if you're under 2 hours on YouTube, for some reason, it reaches more people. I don't understand why, but I want this to get out to as many people as possible.
Yeah,
so
share.
Please share this. If you guys have more questions in the next 10 minutes for Lynn, please put them in the chat. We'll get them up here to you guys.
Well, guys, I hope I haven't come across, too angry about it. I am angry. I really am. But, the thing is that I've got to keep focused. We're in for the long haul, and you guys aren't going to be backing down. I keep repeating this in the chat, and I hope I'm not being boring. But we have Cherokee's here. He's a guy, that's been with us from the beginning as well. We've got to stick together. We've got to stick together. Now, how are we going to do this? I don't know how I'm going to contact you guys in the future. Might be a message in a bottle. I don't know. But forever you guys will be in our spirit if we get cut off, okay? Right. They can't take our spirit. You can't take a smile off a person, you're right. The martyrs were burned at the stake and they were still singing. We're going to do that, okay? We have to do that. We have to stand. You've got to keep fighting. Now, that I'm encouraging myself as I'm talking to you, but really, I just feel USA, they're going to hit you guys harder. You're looking at Australia, don't feel sorry for Wayne and I, because you know that we're tough people and we've got each other. Just love us and pray for us. We'll love that. But you guys, I really do feel that you're going to be in for a tougher ride than they have to give you guys a tougher ride. You guys have been gentlemen with me, being soft on me today, saying, I know you're doing because you love me. You're going to have a tougher ride than us guys with 350 million people in your country. Yeah. And, Rip says it all the time. Yeah, it's but you'll survive it. How resilient do you have to be? I've always said, I said on Ghost, you're a rebel. You've got to be a rebel. You've got to have that rebel spirit in you, Go to bed at night, fired up, thinking about things. Don't have your head full of worry, but think, tomorrow I'm going to have the strength. I might feel sick tonight, but tomorrow I'll have the strength to fight another day. That's how we got to be.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
A lot of people forget, they use terms like founding fathers and patriots. We were traitors and rebels and we rebelled against the crown. We were terrorists until we won. Yeah. Winners write the history. The ones that are left standing get to write the history books. We were the bad guys until we won.
Yeah. That's right. Well, you know what I call Wayne? You know what my nickname for Wayne is? Ned Kelly. He's my Ned Kelly, You can't get a stronger man than my man around, I tell you. He'll be killing me for saying that, but anyway, he'll say, shut up then, don't say that.
That is a good question.
Yeah, Lady Smith asked this, Lynn. She just, why'd you ask about the concrete freeway separations?
Well, I asked about that. Did you guys have them? Because about 5 years ago, they started blocking in Melbourne full on. And I just looked at that and I thought, that's a real good way of controlling traffic and people, because it was like 20 foot high. And I can see that clearly now where that's heading, and new train tracks put in, lots of things, and they don't want cars on the road. So the only transport will be allowed on those roads. All back roads are blocked off from those, So
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So you're looking at the Great Wall of China, in some of these cities now.
I get it. I get it.
For real.
Yeah. What we all thought, how we all were considered conspiracy theorists, trust me, guys, it's no conspiracy now. We are living every conspiracy under the sun, And
wow.
I've never, not once tonight, not once did I think conspiracy theory about anything that's been said tonight. Not even the slightest.
That's right.
Yeah, that's because we're all on the same page. But once I walk out this door, different story.
Yeah, make sure y'all keep Lynn and Wayne in the prayers. Hit that one for the prayers for Lynn and Wayne, and be serious. The more prayers, the better.
Yes, and Josh within your yard Homestead, and all our other brothers and sisters who are in the chat tonight in Australia, our prayers are with you all. Man, all you freedom fighters in Australia, our prayers, our good thoughts and intentions and everything is with you guys.
Yeah.
The ones are flying. The ones are flying, Lynn. I don't know if you can see the chat, but I
can see the ones. Thank you, guys. We look. I see so many names there, and I love you all. It's just like, be in for the long haul. Make sure you tow your weight. Just keep every day helping someone else. Help yourself. Spread the message. What more can I say? But tyranny is just a cowardice act. That's all I see tyranny as. It's just a run by cowards. That's all we're run by. If you look at a government to be scared of, why? They're only people like us. Why do we need to be scared? That's the thing.
Exactly.
100%.
And what Ned Kelly did? Ned Kelly he was a bank robber. He stole. But you know what he did? There must have been so much corruption back in that day, like Ghost was saying, the rebels, the traitors, that he went into the banks and wrote off everyone's debt. He destroyed everyone's debt in the bank. So the common man had some power. Now, I'm not thinking of going into our local bank and writing off everyone's debt, but I'm standing up for people here in our local community. There's no way will you get me. I want to be a friend, not a debtor. We don't want to take off people anymore. Neither do you guys. We want to give out to each other. That's the secret.
Yes, indeed.
For real. Man, 100%. Lynn, I've enjoyed this thoroughly, talking with you and just getting the on the ground viewpoint of what's going on with you guys over there. And like I said, this isn't going to be the only time we talk. I'd like to have you on again as things develop. And it's like you said, the things you're working on to get more intel. Ghost, you'd be proud of everyone backstage. He's like, I don't want to share info. I want to share intel.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And so we'll definitely have you on, hopefully maybe Ghost or Tribe will have you on their shows too.
Anytime. If you don't want to do the interview thing, if you need an outlet, if you need to get something out there and you can't do it from your channel or something, reach out to us. I promise you, anytime I will start that live and you can say whatever you want and then we can end it and you can get whatever you need out there.
Well, we appreciate that so much, guys, because you need to keep watching England, Ireland, Canada, and us for your own safety. And, you're strong men. You know what's coming. But, there's a lot in your chat and community that are feeling a little bit weak. And I pray for all you out there, hoot howl, I hope you're well. Physical fitness, some people don't have. So that's something that we all need to help each other out with too. But look, Tribe, Ghost, Native, I'll be sending you things in the future because it's only now that the intel is coming out. They're making it more blatant, okay? It's taken 18 months. It's all been hidden under the rug. So I haven't been able to send you things because it's all hearsay. Now it's here. So, yeah.
I have one last question, and I want to, if somebody wanted to send you and Wayne just a package, just maybe a card saying we're thinking about you, or maybe, you know, a little gift or anything. Do you have a way for us to send anything?
Well, our, our mail service is just really like China as well too. Things
Is
aren't
it?
getting through. So, but you know what, Tribe, I really love, and Wayne and I really love. We love emails from people, and we love to read what people, you know, are helping us with. I get emails from a lot of people, and you guys do too. You know, when you say, "Oh, that person was thinking of me," or a text or something. Yeah, well, we sent some seeds to America and to some friends, and they got there, but I think most other things will never get there again now. So,
Right. But if
yeah,
you can't, if you're sitting around, you're thinking about Lynn and Wayne, shoot them an email. Let them know you're thinking about them.
yeah,
Just reach
we
out to them
love
and say
that.
hello.
Yeah,
Right.
cram66@gmail.com. It's on our
There you
page. We'd love to hear from you. And, you know, and the more Aussies watching this too today, that would be fantastic if you can email us so we can get, you know, people on board with what Wayne and I are thinking of doing too, and, you know, connecting more that way. So, yeah, guys, there's a lot I couldn't say on here because I really don't want to let out what our plans are. As you can imagine, we've got to be careful, but you know, I hope I've said enough that's encouraged everyone in the chat, and
Yeah.
just keep moving on.
100%. Yeah. Thank you, Nisi. I was just going to say, drop the link one more time for Homestead Aus, guys.
Thank you.
Lynn, your email is on your about section on your YouTube page, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'll put it up after this anyway if I haven't,
Okay.
so I will.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'll do that
Yeah.
straight away.
Like she said, Lynn said they love to hear emails. Send them something, man. And you know,
Yeah,
I'm just gonna put this out there because I've done it before. You can send gift cards and stuff through email if you know you want to support these folks. Reach out to all these Aussie folks here in the chat tonight, guys. You know, I've been watching you guys talk to each other. This is what it's about. This is what unity's about. This is what real true patriotism is for the human race, guys. We need to start thinking beyond our own borders. I've said this about in my lives for about half a year now. Like, the Republic's fallen here. We need to stop. We need to think beyond our borders, and we need to find people who believe in individual liberties, and we need to stand together worldwide. That's what I believe, you know. And,
absolutely. So true, Tribe. So true. So true,
Salute.
Native. So true, Ghost. All of us. We're on the same page. And on that note, I suppose you're going to finish soon, are you, Native?
Yeah, we're gonna shut it down. Ghost, did you have anything last thing to say, or?
Nah, I'm good, brother. I want to keep you at your 2-hour mark.
All right. But again, Lynn, I thank you so much. Please tell Wayne that we said hey, and that we're thinking of him, and I look forward to speaking with him soon in the future.
You will be speaking to Wayne soon. Definitely. That's right. And it's been a pleasure, guys. We do love you. You don't know. You really don't know how much you all mean to Wayne and I. Really.
We love you too.
No doubt.
We all love you.
Yeah, we're family. You know, we're all together. We're all facing this together, this tyranny that you guys are just accelerated, you know, as we've all pointed out in this live. But please share this out, guys. You know, reach out. And,
share it out.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you again. Thank you, Ghost and Tribe, for coming up and hanging out with us tonight. Also, thank you guys in the chat. And we will see you guys. You know, you guys have a good night. Have a good weekend. Have a good rest of the week. We'll all see you somewhere.
Yeah.